What's up, everybody? This is Justin. I'm the owner of Next IT Solutions here in Irvine, California. And I'm very excited today. We have a wonderful topic that it's not just going to help all of you in your business, no matter what role you are, from HR to manager to CEO of a company. It's also going to help me too, because getting a refresher on these things just reminded me about the little holes in my company that I need to plug up and fix. And we can all get a little bit better. I've been doing IT and cybersecurity, owned this company for 13 years, since 2008. I know I look very young, but I'm 33 years old, and we started it just building computers. But I have a great topic today: how technology can accelerate your business growth. So how it's going to work like this. If anybody has a question at any time, feel free to write into the chat as I'm talking. I'm going to look in the chat and I'll go ahead and address your questions, because I do want to help you guys get better and really implement this. I do this every day, so I'm very passionate about it. So I know I can speak fast sometimes, or I assume people may know pieces. So go ahead and ask in the chat and I'll take care of you. So we have 5 different tips today, 5 different ways that you can accelerate your business growth. And everybody here wants to accelerate your business growth. The first piece of business growth acceleration can be accomplished by something called cloud computing. Huge buzzword right now. Most of you, your companies have already made the transition from these old school servers into the cloud. There are things like Azure from Microsoft, AWS from Amazon, and then different flavors of your own that you can either create or use from other companies. But I'm really going to focus on the 2 main players, Azure and AWS, as 90% of the market's going to be on there. The first way that cloud computing can help accelerate your business is strictly by cash flow. You can reduce your hardware cost by 100% because you don't need any servers anymore. They're gone, they're done. And most importantly, if you have an organization that has a lot of data, or you're accelerating fast, just like the topic here, you're able to use unlimited amounts of servers on Azure, Microsoft's cloud. So here's an example. Instead of buying a server and then you double your company and you have to buy another one or 2 or 3 just to accommodate that, Azure will allow you to immediately scale and use their different servers on there. It's going to cost a lot less than buying a $20,000 to $50,000 server. Some companies I work with have to buy $100,000 plus servers. And also the amount of RAM inside of those servers can cost you a lot more too. Azure lets you have unlimited. And here's the best part about it. It's very elastic. So you only use it when you use it. So if your company goes to sleep at 8 p.m., your operations stop. Instead of having to pay for the after hours, you're not being charged unless something is running live. So that's going to save you a lot of money immediately. Your productivity is going to change, because instead of using a server where people just have to share files there, you can use something like Microsoft Cloud and have Teams set up on it. And similar to what I'm doing now, I'm just using a webcam and talking to people. We're going to be putting this on our YouTube and everything in the future. You're able to use Microsoft Teams seamlessly with the Azure cloud, and then your employees, no matter where they are in the country, can work from that server, the cloud server, and be able to access your files and share and do webcams to each other. Without using this, it's going to be so hard for you to set up. Trust me, I do this every day. I do cybersecurity, I do IT. I've seen a lot of nightmare scenarios. If you try to move to remote and you have the servers the old way, you're going to have to set up the ability for people to VPN all over the country, and it becomes a nightmare. Cloud computing will solve that right away. A little tip at the bottom there, businesses that invest in cloud computing save an average of 30% on IT costs. And that's just on hardware alone, not counting the productivity that changes. All right, so tip number 2, I'm going to talk about cybersecurity. Question, right? Like, how can cybersecurity help me scale my company? Well, number 1, not having cybersecurity will for sure help you not scale your company, like totally reverse. No matter how big your company is, you have 100, 200, 500 employees. Sometimes we can be so successful at our businesses, like what we do. I see some CEOs here, some COOs and HR. We can be great at what we do, but it doesn't matter how big we build the system. If a cybersecurity breach happens, we get ransomware, or somebody just strictly takes down our company, we can lose our reputation, we can lose our data, and then none of our employees can work. I just saw this actually in the last week. Huge company, doing great, lots of sales. They hired the wrong IT guy on staff. And as soon as they let that person go, their entire network went down. They had to send all of their employees home. They had people working in China. Those people in China couldn't access their files anymore, shut down their entire operations. I think it's about $1 million loss for a company just because they didn't have cybersecurity in place. The average data breach cost in the US is twice over the global average. Number 1, because we're a big capitalist country, right? We have a lot of people working in our offices, a lot of big public companies. Whether you're a small company with like 20 people or you're a large company with hundreds of thousands, the average is $9.44 million in cost. We're not just talking the cost of having to pay a ransom. It could be anywhere from $50,000 to $1 million. What about the cost of your reputation? What happens if your employees are starting to send out fake ACH info to different vendors that you have? Those vendors are not going to want to trust you anymore. And then you're toast. Your reputation's gone. You're going to have to play a catch-up game. So your productivity immediately goes down. All you have to do is a few little steps, and I can show you at the end of this about how to solve your cybersecurity, and then you can continue to scale and be productive. So next slide over here. I want to talk about 𝗓𝐶entral RMM. Now, RMM stands for Remote Monitoring and Management Tool. The reason I put the 𝗓𝐶entral in there is because I vetted a lot of different companies, and I feel 𝗓𝐶entral is the best way to use this. I talk with IT providers all the time, meaning employees who hire their own IT staff. And the IT staff wants the company to buy them some sort of RMM, but the company just says, no, it's not in the budget, it's not good. Because it's very hard for us to cognitively think about how to put a price on productivity. So instead of the cost of something that may cost you $5,000 a year to implement, your IT team is having to go from computer to patch and manage every single device. So I would recommend, if you just have your own IT team and there's not a budget to outsource, give them some sort of RMM tool. Something, trust me in this, is better than nothing at all, but 𝗓𝐶entral is better than all of those. Not only will it let them run patches, which will save you time and allow you to scale, it'll also let you do security management. Remote work has become the hottest thing ever. We're at that little stage now where we've ran it for a couple of years, and business owners are starting to get burned on it. They feel that employees aren't working well. They feel productivity is going down. But what I think is that potentially it's not the remote work that's the issue or the employees. It's how we as business owners or operation managers are using remote workers and helping them connect. With an RMM tool, I can see 500 employees across the globe and see how much they're working on productivity during the day. Are they actually accessing my emails that I want them to? It also gives them a sense of security because they're on their home device. And even if you don't ship them their own device, it turns their personal device into a company device only while they're working. So that way you don't have to have that hardware cost too. Without an RMM tool, there's no way to see a 500-person workforce, let alone a 10-person workforce who aren't at your office. If you have a problem with any employee, they disappear, you don't know where they went, we can just press a button with an RMM tool, turn off that computer, and then get all the data back. It is the lifeblood of a remote working team. Businesses that use 𝗓𝐶entral RMM have a 50% reduction in their IT management costs. Instead of having to hire a 10-person IT team, you could hire 2 or 3 people, and they can do all the work immediately by pressing a button. All right, on to the next piece here, remote work. I touched on it a little bit in the last slide. It's exactly like I was saying. Maybe it's not the fact that the people are lazy, that remote work doesn't work. Could be that we as owners and managers are not really giving the people the tools to make them successful while working at home. While we do remote work, we don't only have to look inside of our little bubble of people within 5, 10, 15 miles. We can start accessing the best talent, not only in America, but across the globe. And if we are able to get people in, let's say, North Carolina, and we're in California, I just did that now myself. Now I can be able to access people I never would have had because I couldn't fly them and their entire family out here. So I'm able to really expand and grow. We all know that there's more jobs right now than there are people looking for jobs. So you got to really find creative ways to 10x your thinking and find out how you can find the best talent. Accessing the entire American market with remote work is going to do that for you. Guarantee your productivity is going to go up and you're going to scale. You'll be able to improve your employee productivity by letting them work at home too. It can go both ways. If you don't have the right tools in place, RMM, cybersecurity, it can actually allow for people to kind of feel comfortable and work from home, and they'll never know if they're actually doing their work. They may actually be doing their work, but you have a feeling they're not. And then that creates a very uncomfortable conversation. Nobody wants to go through that, especially if they're working hard and you just didn't have the tools to see if they were. With a tool called ActiveTrack, we can actually put it onto every single device. And no matter where they are, we'll be able to tell how much productivity per employee. Are they on YouTube? Are they on Spotify? Are they actually working on what you want? We'll be able to tell even if they're on YouTube, but they have it in the background as background noise so that they can do their work. A lot of people who don't know how to do these effective tools can start seeing that people are on YouTube, and then they think that they're not working, but they're just using it as background music to work. Then you lose some of your great talent, all because you didn't have the tools in place. Businesses that allow remote work can save up to $11,000 per employee per year, and that's just on payroll. Forget about medical and all the different taxes. There's a lot of tax breaks here, guys, and we know that if we can increase our cash flow per employee on a 10-person company, 100-person company, with a 100-person company, that's a lot of money left on the table there, guys. That's about $1 million. So I want to get to the next point here. We're going to be talking about data analytics. They all connect. If you don't have an RMM tool, there's no way that you're going to be able to get the analytics from your employees. But I'm not just talking about analytics on how your employees are working. Do you know how many calls are made in your organization per day? Do you know how many minutes per call those are? Do you know how fast your employees are getting back to your customers? Do you know how satisfied your customers are with each individual employee? Are you just like pointing at random people and blaming them for problems in your organization? Or do you know exactly the root of the cause of the problem? Without the proper analytics, you're just going to be playing a guessing game, and you can lose out on good talent, or you can hire the wrong people and fire the wrong people too. You're going to be able to improve your financial forecasting with the correct data analytics, and you're able to do proactive maintenance and streamline your operations. Right now, we've all heard of ChatGPT and language models. If you haven't been using data analytics before, and now you're a couple steps back, I plead with you, start teaching your people how to use ChatGPT. Start going on YouTube and doing ChatGPT. Everybody in my organization from day one of ChatGPT got an account, and I had them practice on their specific role and how to ask ChatGPT how to do certain tasks. It's not so that it can do all the work for them, but so that they can start seeing what is coming out in the future. And if you're using these language models with the data that you've provided, you will become an unstoppable force and be able to scale, because I guarantee you guys, I'm talking to companies all the time. We're talking to like 30 different companies a week here who are interested in our services. None of them are using ChatGPT or AI to increase their business in an intelligent way. They're kind of just guessing. Businesses that use data analytics can increase their productivity by up to 60%. And keep this in mind, all of these numbers stack together, 60% here, 20% here, 10,000 here. All of these things at the end of the year are going to make the difference between you being at negative cash flow or positive to 10, 20, 30, 40%, even best in class in your kind of business. All right. Well, guys, I went through those 5 really fast. I told you I'm very passionate, but I want to give you one extra bonus one because I went so fast. I want to tell you what to look for in an IT and cybersecurity provider. I'm going to start with what to look for in your own IT person. A lot of you are great at what you do. I said that at the beginning of this thing. Now, it is common for great people to think that they're great at every single thing because they've won in life. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is hiring the wrong IT staff. Think about it. The person that you hire for your IT is going to know every password, every bank account, every financial document. They're going to know the ins and outs of your organization, and not just for you. They're going to know every single employee that you have, their background checks, because they're going to have the keys to the kingdom of your entire organization. If you bring in a person who is just incompetent at their job, that's one thing. Maybe that can be improved upon and you will lose productivity, but hey, you can always rehire somebody else. What really hurts people is when they hire a bad actor into their organization. When we're doing onboarding for companies, sometimes we see that the IT director came in, had a bad run with it. The boss shut down all of the organization's passwords, data, and emails, and then disappeared. And I come in as an IT professional, and I have to go and find out passwords that are deleted, disappeared, gone, data gone like that. That can ruin your organization. If that happens and you don't have the proper setups in place, like I've talked about, you can literally go from a multi-million-dollar business to nothing. And it can take you weeks or months to recover without a proper team in place. Now, what to look for in a good IT person? As you're going on ZipRecruiter and Indeed and LinkedIn, always have that person come in person if you can. But remember, with proper tools and remote work, you're going to be able to find people all over the country. And here's what you want to look for. You want to look for good certifications. You want to listen to keywords. All the things I talked about, replay this slide for them. Do they know about cloud computing? Are they open to it or are they against it? If they're against it, they're probably thinking in the old terms of IT, dinosaur thinking. You don't want that in your organization. It's only going to cause you problems later. Are they open to the cloud? Are they knowledgeable about cybersecurity? Do they know about things like active track? And are they pro on remote workers? Or are they scared because they think the government's going to be in their webcam? Look for little bits of signs. I've seen it all. And most importantly, what you want is somebody who's able and willing to learn. And please, when it comes to IT people, always do your reference check and background check. You will run into people who only try to get into your company to steal your money and steal your time. Don't do references checks. You don't do background checks. You're setting yourself up for failure. The way that you can save money above that all, though, if you have an organization of over 20 people, you're not just going to need one IT person there. You're going to need different sorts of expertise. There's one guy that you find on ZipRecruiter is not going to know how to do your network and your cybersecurity and team setup and Microsoft AWS. It's not possible. I hire IT people all the time. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. That's why people look for MSP companies, because MSPs are able to have an entire workforce with different skill sets. And you can literally go from paying one person about $90,000 at your organization, if you want a decent person, it's about what you're going to pay, into having a team that you get maybe 20, 30, 40, 100 people. At my organization, we have a partner company named Plexus that has a 300-person security operations center checking our employees' hacks at all time, making sure that nothing is going to go bad. Plus, they have another 100 people at a help desk. And we have our own elite team as well that goes on site or remote or wherever you are in the nation. So instead of you having a $90,000 IT budget that you're going to dump on one person and roll the dice, you can work with an organization that has a 13-year track record and hundreds of people at our fingertips to protect you from cyber threats and help you there too. The biggest cost that people don't think about in IT is you can hire the best IT guy. Let's say if you guys have a budget about $250,000, you get a great corporate guy. He seems wonderful. He's going to go into your organization, and everyone is different. Although he was great over here, he now comes into your organization. He's going to have to relearn everything from the ground up, and you're paying him 2 or 3 times what you would just pay somebody brand new. Not only that, he's going to have to set up an entire infrastructure for your organization, RMM tool, help desk, cybersecurity, and that can take him 6 to 8 months on average just to figure it out and implement it. Once he's implemented it, here's the conversation that's going to happen. Hey, Mr. Owner, Mr. CEO, Mr. Boss, I just implemented all this. I'm kind of getting my bearings here. I need to hire a staff of 2, 3, or 4 people because this system I made needs help. So you're actually going to end up being a year behind, hundreds of thousands of dollars in R&D, and then you're going to still have to hire a workforce. Let NextIT handle all that for you. We help hundreds of clients. We've helped over 1,000 people in the entire of our organization. We have thousands of endpoints that we protect, and we have a massive security operations center. Just you don't want to risk or gamble anything like this. Not only are we going to do your IT, your cybersecurity, we're also going to help you with business consulting, growth, and productivity. We have an awesome marketing team here. We have a great sales division. We're all here to make you successful. We'll put things in like active tracks so you can see your employees and how much they're actually working per day. We'll put in a call recording for you guys so you can listen to your calls. We'll help you implement strategies to find out how many calls are made in your organization. We're not just going to protect you and fix your printers and computers. We're going to look at your entire organization and figure out how you can go from where you are to 10 times there and then beyond there. So guys, I'm so excited. I went through all of those slides. I want to know if there's any questions that you have. You can feel free to check out our website. It's www.nxt-it.com. It's on the page. It's on the link. You see there on our YouTube. Also down in the description. I'm willing and able to help you. I have an entire team of people who are trained just to give you free tips. So if you want some advice on picking your IT guy, send some resumes over to us. We'll look at it, and I'll tell you if this is an A, B, or C player and what mistakes you may be able to make there. So let's just build a relationship first. I want to see everybody succeed. A lot of you are from our local area here. I see in Irvine, Santa Ana, Brea, local. I want to see you guys all grow because I know I'm going to run into you. There's been a massive amount of hacks coming in from all over the county. We're seeing it every day. We want to protect you. We want to help you. Please let NextIT be there. I'll be on another live webinar coming up soon, but we do TikToks. We do Facebook. We have all of these things to help you guys, and you'll be seeing mailers from us. You'll be getting phone calls, and I know you've probably seen an email with this face before. I'm going to keep doing it until you call us. I'm excited. Thank you so much. My name's Justin. Have a great week.